यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। लेकर उगते रवि की लाली, लेकर उगते रवि की लाली। ले नित्य बसंती हरियाली, ले नित्य बसंती हरियाली। यह ले ले लहरे आता है, यह ले ले लहरे आता है। धरती को जागे भाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। जब गोली गोली बरसेंगे, जब गोली गोली बरसेंगे। ये सिर कत कत कर सरसेंगे, ये सिर कत कत कर सरसेंगे। हम मौत के भीषण आंगन में, हम मौत के भीषण आंगन में। हंस हंस खेलेंगे भाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। यह ओम का झंडा आता है, यह ओम का झंडा आता है। सोने वालों जाग चलो, सोने वालों जाग चलो। पर्वत को कह दो नम जाए, would now be doing the slogans. आर्य वीरो
जागो,
संसार की श्रेष्ठ पुरुषों
एक हो जाओ,
आर्य समाज की
जय हो,
सत्य सनातन वैदिक धर्म की
जय।
The hoisting of the flag was done by Sri Lalchand Suku, accompanied by Srimati Nalini Suku, who sang for us Yaha Om Kajanda. Thank you for leading us in that very important aspect of our program. President of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, Sri Roshan Parasram Singh, Secretary Kumari Vidya Ramachala, Secretary of the Vedic School Board of Management, Sri Ravi Rambaran, members of the Executive and the Pundits Council, our FITIA speaker for this morning, Sri Ravi Rambaran, artists, ladies and gentlemen, children. Today holds a special day for us despite the challenges of the past couple of years. We stand united and strengthen our resolve as an association to further the objectives of our late founder, Maharishi Swami Dayanand. We are aware many Samajists and their families and the wider community have been hard hit by the pandemic. Today we stand in solidarity with you and dedicate this Utsav to all members and the general public. We join in prayer, discourses, song, and entertainment to bring to you the message of the Maharishi, that we will remain strong in faith together.
Namaste. I'll now read the Rastragan. Om Abrahman Brahmano Brahmavarchase Jayatam Arastre Rajanyah Shura Ishavyati Vyadhi Maharatho Jayatam Dogdhi Dhenurvodhanad Vanashu Saptihi Purandir Yosha Jishnu Rateshtha Sabheyo Yuvasya Yajman Asya Viro Jayatam Nikame Nikame Nah Parjanyo Varshatu Phala Vatyo Na Oshadhayah Pachyantam Yoga Shemo Nah Kalpatam. At this time, we will light the ceremonial diya. We'll have Nirmala assisting us. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Namaste everyone and welcome to this our special Rishi Bodh Utsav 2022. At this time I will recite the Sankalp. Om Tat Sat Shri Brahmano Dvitiya Prahararde Vaivaswata Manvantare Ashta Vinshati Tame Kali Yuge Kali Prathama Charane Rakshasa Nama Samvatsare Surya Uttarayane Phalguna Mase Shukla Pakshe Ravivardhane चतुर्थी तिथौ अश्विनी नक्षत्रे ब्रह्मयोगे विष्टिकरणे शुभलग्ने शुभमुहूर्ते करलायना ग्रामे कुवे नगरे त्रिनिदाद देशे अयं हवन यज्ञः prarabhyate. With the thought of Om, in this second quarter of the day of Brahma, in this Vaishvaswata Manvantara, in this 28th Kali Yuga, in this first quarter of this present Kali Yuga, in the year 2022, in the month of March, in the bright fortnight on Sunday 6th, constellation Ashwini, Karane Vishti, Yoga Brahma, in the village of Carolina, in the country Trinidad, at this auspicious time, this special Havan Yajna, held by the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad, commences. We begin this yajna with the welcome bhajan. Swagat Sabhajan is mandir ho. Bhakti Swati Kanir, may all be welcome to this mandir to partake of the sweetness of devotion. स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वातिका ने सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजित हृदय पे। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वातिका ने। ईश सगुण निरगुण अविनाशी, मात पिता रुयार। ईश सगुण निरगुण अविनाशी, मात पिता रुयार। तोर भये हम वत्स सदा ही, तार हमें संसार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वातिका ने। वेद कुभावन दूर भगावे, आय यहाँ पर प्यार। वेद कुभावन दूर भगावे, आय यहाँ पर प्यार। देव दयानंद प्रेम विवेक, विश्वर एकता। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वातिका ने। तीर्थ भया यहाँ गोठ लगावे, पुण्य यहाँ पर सार। तीर्थ भया यहाँ गोठ लगावे, पुण्य यहाँ पर सार। संगति संतन प्रेम चलावे, हेर फेर सब हार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वातिका निर, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजित हृदय पीर। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति स्वातिका निर। Let us all prepare for devotion. Let us focus on the breath for a few seconds as we calm the mind. Om is the highest name of God in Sanskrit. It is also a great mantra. Chanting of Om helps to calm the mind, sanctify the breath. We'll now chant Om 3 times, followed by the opening prayer. Om Shanu Mitraha Shan Varuna Shanu Bhavadvaryama Shanna Indru Brihaspati Shanu Vishnu Rurukrama Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayu Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadisyami Ritam Vadisyami Satyam Vadisyami Tanamam avatu tadvaktaram avatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May you, O Supreme Being, friend of all, the holiest of all, and controller of the universe, be merciful unto us. May you, Almighty One, Lord of the universe and support of all, endow us with knowledge and power. May you, O omnipresent and omnipotent Being, shower your blessings all around us. We bow unto you, O most powerful and supreme Being. You alone are the omniscient One, whom we feel within our hearts. We will call you and you alone the true One. Your will is truly revealed in the Vedas. Will we obey and preach? We will be truthful in word, deed, and thought. You are our shelter. May you protect us who study and contemplate your nature, who speak only the truth, so that our understanding may be firm in your will and never turn away from it. Your will is truth and righteousness. That which is contrary to your will is untruth and unrighteousness. May you again shelter and protect us. O Lord, be merciful and grant this our prayer, for which we shall feel ever and ever grateful. Let there be peace in the heavenly regions, in the middle regions, and on earth. Ishwar Stuti, Meditation of the Divine. We'll read the first and last English translation. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadrantana Asuva. O radiant divinity, cause of all manifestations in the universe, remove all evils from us and endow us with all that is noble. Om Hiranya Garbha Samavartatagre भूतस्य जातः पतिरेक आसीत् सदधार पृथिवीं द्यामुते मां कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ य आत्मदा बलदा यस्य विश्व उपासते प्रशिशं यस्य देवः यस्य छायमृतं यस्य मृत्युः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ यः प्राणतो निमिषतो महित्वैक इद्राजा जगतो बभूव य ईशे अस्य द्विपदश्चतुष्पदः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ येन जारुग्रा पृथिवी च दृढा येन स्वहस्तभितं येन नाकः यो अन्तरिक्षे रजसो विमानः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ प्रजापतेन त्वदेतान्यन्यो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव यत्कामास्ते जुहुमस्तनो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीणाम् ॐ सनो बन्धुर्जनिता स विधाता धामानि वेद भुवनानि विश्वा यत्र देवा अमृतमानशानास् तृतीये धामनध्यैरयन्त ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथाराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देववयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुरानमेनो भूयिष्ठान्ते नम uktim vidhema. O self-effulgent being, all holy and know of all things, lead us through the path of goodness to prosperity and knowledge, and keep us away from evil deeds. To achieve this end, may we always contemplate your divine nature and be always happy. Utter Swasti Vachanam, prayers for bliss and prosperity. We sing in praise of the Great One, who is the source of all life, who existed before creation, who is the first teacher of all knowledge, material and spiritual, who is worthy of contemplation at all times, and who is the provider of all beautiful and precious things. Om Agnimide Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam Hotaram Ratnadhatamam Om Sanah Piteva Sunavegne Supayano Bhava Sachaswanah Swastaye Om Swasti no Mimitam Ashvina Bhagaha Swasti Devya Ditiranarvanaha Swasti Pusha Asuro Dadhatuna Swasti Dhyava Prithivi Suchetuna Om Swastaye Vayu Mupabravamahe Sumam Swasti Bhuvanasya Yaspati Brihaspatim Sarvaganam Swastaye Swastaya Adityaso Bhavantu Naha Om Vishwe Deva Novadhya Swastaye Vaishwanaro Vasuragnihi Swastaye Deva Avantaribhavaha Swastaye Swastino Rudraha Patvam Hasaha Om Swasti Mitra Varuna Swasti Pataye Revati Swasti na Indraschagnischa Swasti no Adite Kridhi Om Swasti Pantha Manuchare Masurya Chandramasa Viva Punardadatagnata Janata Sangame Mahi. May we follow the path of welfare as the sun and moon unswervingly revolve in their orbits, may we associate with those who are learned, pious, charitable, and non-violent. Atha Shanti Karanam. We pray that peace come to us from all directions. May we derive peace from electricity, fire, and water. May the sun and moon bring us peace and fearlessness by eradicating disease. May electricity and wind bring us vigor and peace. May our power, our glory, our intellect, our wealth, and our prosperity bring peace to us. May our rulers and judges bring peace to us. May the Divine One, the sustainer and supporter of the universe, bring peace to us. May the vast sun and the earth produce food in all regions, thereby bringing peace to us. May the clouds and the mountains bring peace to us. May all wise men, by their sweetness of speech, bring peace to us. Om Shana Indragni Bhavatam Vodhi Shana Indra Varuna Ratahavya Shamindra Soma Suvitaya Shanyo Shana Indra Pushana Vajasata Om Shanu Bhagah Shamunah Shansuastu Shanah Purandhi Shamusanturaya Shanah Satyasya Suyamasya Shansa Shanu Aryama Purujatu Astu Om Shanu Dhata Shamudhartano Astu Shana Uruchi Bhavatu Swadhabhi Shanrodasi Brihati Shanu Adri Shanu Devanam Suhavani Santu Om Shanu Agnir Jyotiraniko Astu Shanu Mitra Varuna Vashvinasham Shanah Sukritam Sukritani Santu Shana Ishiro Abhivatu Vataha Om Shanu Dhyava Prithivi Purvahutau Shamantariksham Drishayenu Astu Shana Oshadhir Vanino Bhavantu Shano Rajasas Patirastu Jishnu Om Shana Indro Vasurbhirdevo Astu Shamaditibhir Varunah Sushansah Shano Rudra Rudrabhir Jalasha Shamnasvastagna Birihashrinotu Om Shanah Somo Bhavatu Brahma Shanah Shanu Gravanah Shamusantu Yajna Shanah Swaruna Mitayo Bhavantu Shanah Prasva Shamavastu Vedi. May the all peaceful one give us peace. May our religious undertakings bring us peace. May the plants and vegetables bring us peace. May the oblations in this Vedi bring us peace. Achman Mantra, symbolical purification. Take water in the right hand and rinse. Om Amrito Pasternamasi Swaha. May this water bring happiness to all. Om Amrita Pidhanamisi Swaha. O Immortal One, you are the eternal support of all. Om Satyam Yashaha Shrimai Shri Shwaitam Swaha. May true action, fame, wealth and honor be always with us. Angsparsh Mantra. We now ask God to strengthen the different parts of our bodies for the performance of good work, for the benefit of ourselves and the entire creation. Om Vang Masyestu. May there be the power of speech in my mouth. Om Nasor Me Pranustu. May there be the power of breath in my nostrils. Om Akshanor Me Chakshurastu. May there be the power of sight in my eyes. Om Karnayor Me Shrotramastu. May there be the power of hearing in my ears. Om Bahvor Me Balamastu. May there be strength in my arms. Om Urvorma Ojostu. May there be strength in my thighs. Om Adistani Mengani Tanustanva Me Sahasantu. May all parts of my body be coherently healthy. Agni Adhan Mantra, we now light the sacred fire. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Om Bhur Bhuva Swajariva Bhumna Prithiviva Varimna Tasyaste Prithivi Deva Yajni Prishte Prishtegni Manada Manadhyayadadhe. You now find the fire. Om Udbhujya Swagne Prati Jagrihitva Mishta Purte Samshrijethar Mayam Cha Asmint Sadhaste Adhutarasmin Vishwe Deva Yajmanuscha Siddhata. Samidadhan Mantra. We now make offering into the fire with the 3 pieces of Samidha. Om Mayanted Maatma Jatavedhaste Nidhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nana Jena Samedhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jatavedase Idanna Mama. Om Samidhagnim Duvasyata Gritai Bodhaya Tatatim Asmin Havya Juhotana. Om Susamidhaya Suchase Gritam Tivram Juhotana. Agnaye Jatavedase Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jatavedase Idanna Mama. Om Tantva Samid Bhirangido Gritena Vardhyamasi. Briha Chochaya Vishtaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Angedase Idanna Mama. Grita Huti Mantra. We chant this mantra 5 times with offerings of ghee. And in this mantra we are praying, O all-pervading one, I offer myself to you as I offer this fuel to the fire. May you enlighten me in greater and greater measure as this fire grows with the application of fuel. May you enable me by the help of true knowledge to attain physical and spiritual well-being. Om Mayanta Idma Atma Jatavedhaste Nedhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nana Jena Samedhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jatavedase Danna Mama. Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jatavedhaste Nedhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nana Jena Samedhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jatavedase Idanna Mama. Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jatavedhaste Nedhya Swavardha Swacheda Vardhya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahma Varchase Nana Jena Samedhaya Swaha. Idamagne Jatavedase Dannamama. Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jatavedhastene Swavardhasvacheda Vardhaya. Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahmavarchase Nanajene Samedaya. Swaha. Idamagne Jatavedase Idannamama. Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jatavedhastene Swavardhasvacheda Vardhaya. Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahmavarchase Nanajene Samedhaya. Swaha. Idamagne Jatavedase Idannamama. Jal Prasechan Mantra. Om Aditenu Manyaswa. Om Anumatenu Manyaswa. Om Saraswatyanu Manyaswa. Om Deva Savita Prasuvayajyam Prasuvayajyapatim Bhagaya. Devyu Gandharva Ketapu Ketanaha Punatu Vachaspatir Vachanaha Swadatu. Continue with the offering of the key to the north, south, and then middle. Om Agnaye Swaha. Idam Agnaye Idanamama. Om Sumaya Swaha. Idam Sumaya Idanamama. Om Prajapati Swaha. Idam Prajapati Idanamama. Om Indraya Swaha. Idam Indraya Idanamama. Om Bhuragnaye Swaha. Idam Agnaye Idanamama. Om Bhuvadvayave Swaha. Idam Vayave Idanamama. Om Swaradityaya Swaha. Idam Adityaya Idanamama. Om Bhurubhuvah Swaragni Vayavadityebhyah Swaha. Idam Agni Vayavadityebhyah Idanamama. At this time, I will do the Pavaman mantras with offering of key. Om Bhurubhuvah Swaha. Agna Ayumshi Pavasa. Asuvorjamisham cha naha are badhaswa duchunam swaha. Idam Agnaye Pavamanaya Idanamama. Om Bhurubhuvah Swaha. Agnirishi Pavamanaha. Panchajanyah Purohitaha. Tamimahi Mahagayam Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pavamanaya Idanamama. Om Bhurubhuvah Swaha. Agne Pavaswa Swapa. Asme Varchaha Suviryam Dadhadrahimai Posham Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pavamanaya Idanamama. Om Bhurubhuvah Swaha. Prajapati Natvade Tanyanyo Vishwajatani Parita Babhuva. Yat Kamaste Juhumastanno Astu. Vayam Syama Patayorainam Swaha. Idam Prajapataye Idanamama. Switch the Krita Huti mantra. We now make offering with the prasad. In this mantra, we are praying, whatever excesses or shortcomings I have committed, I now commend to the Almighty and seek His rectification thereof, for my material and spiritual well-being. I make this oblation in the name of the self-effulgent being, who purifies us and enables us to fulfill our desires. May my desires be fulfilled and may my speech be ever truthful. I have made this wish in the full knowledge that I have no claim to its fulfillment. Om yadasya karmano tyaricham yadvanyunamiha karam Agnishtat svistakrit vedyat sarvam svishtam suhutam karotu me Agnaye svishtakrite suhutahute sarva prayascetahutinam Kamanam samardhayitre sarvanah kamanta samardhaya Swaha Idam agnaye svishtakrite idannamama Prajapatyahuti mantra. This is a silent mantra. We repeat the mantra silently and then make the offering. Om Swaha Idam Prajapati Idanamama Prataha Kalki mantra. Om Suryo Jyotir Jyotihi Suryah Swaha Om Suryo Varcho Jyotir Varchah Swaha Om Jyotihi Suryah Suryo Jyotihi Swaha Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajur Rushasindra Vatya Joshanah Suryo Vetu Swaha Sayam Kalki mantra. Principal evening oblations. Om Agnir Jyotir Jyotir Agnihi Swaha Om Agnir Varcho Jyotir Varchah Swaha Silent mantra again and then we make the offering. Om Swaha Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajur Ratrindra Vatya Joshano Agnirvetu Swaha Prataha Sayam Ahuti Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idanamama Om Bhuvadvaya Vepanaya Swaha Idam Vayave Panaya Idanamama Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha Idam Adityaya Vyanaya Idanamama Om Bhurubhuvah Swaragni Vayavadityebhyah Pranapana Vyanebhyah Swaha Idam Agni Vayavadityebhyah Pranapana Vyanebhyah Idanamama Om Apo Jyotirasomritam Brahma Bhurubhuvah Swaro Swaha Om Yamedham Devagana Pitaraschopasate Taya Mamadhya Medhayagne Medhavinam Kuru Swaha Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadrantana Asuva Swaha Om Agnenaya Supataraye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yuyodhyasmad Juhuranamenu Puishtante Nama Uktim Vidhema Swaha Pratijahuti mantra. In this mantra we pray, O self-effulgent being, Lord of the holy ordinances, I shall observe the vow of truthfulness in thought, word, and deed. May you enable me to successfully observe this vow of truthfulness. Om Agne Vratpate Vratam Charishyami Tate Prapravimi Tachikeyam Te Nardhyasamidam Aham Anvitat Satyam Upaimi Swaha Idam Agne Danamama. Gayatri Mantra. We chant the Gayatri Mantra 3 times. Before we chant the mantra, I'll read the translation. O Supreme Being, cause of all manifestations in the universe, source of existence, intelligence, and bliss, we meditate upon your adorable nature. May you illumine and inspire our intellect. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. हे दयालु परमात्मन, आप अपनी असीम कृपा से हमारी सदा रक्षा करते हैं। आप ही हमारे जीवन आधार है। अपने सेवकों के दुखों को दूर करके उनको सुख देने वाले हैं। आप सर्वत्र सुप्रतिष्ठित और सुप्रसिद्ध है। आप सर्वोत्तम शुद्ध पवित्र और ज्ञान स्वरूप है। आपसे ही यह सारा जगत उत्पन्न हुआ है। आप ही सकल शुभ गुणों को खान है। आपका हम प्रतिदिन ध्यान करें और आप हमें विवेकशीलता, भावनावती मेध, सद्बुद्धि प्रदान करें। Namaskar mantra. In this mantra we pray, we acknowledge you, O peaceful being, the eternal source of joy and happiness. We acknowledge you, O giver of peace and spiritual well-being. We acknowledge you, O blissful one, a still more blissful being, who fulfills our material and spiritual desires. Ever and evermore do we acknowledge and recognize you, O Lord. Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayubhavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha Swaha. Purnahuti mantra. Om Sarvam Vaipurnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vaipurnam Swaha. All ingredients now. Put it to the side. Om Sarvam Vaipurnam Swaha. Now verily all this has come to an end. Let us all now place our hands towards the fire as we pray. O Lord, please bless us with happy long lives. Please bless us with strong healthy bodies. Please remove from our bodies all ailments and weaknesses that lie therein. O Lord, please bless us with your abundant knowledge. Om Tanupagnesi Tanva Me Pahi. Om Ayurda Agnesayur Me Dehi. Om Varchoda Agnesi Varcho Me Dehi. Om Agneyan Me Tanva Unam Tanma Aprina. Om Medha Me Deva Savita Adadhatu. Om Medha Me Devi Saraswati Adadhatu. Om Medha Me Ashwinau Deva Vadhatam Pushkarasraja. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gayatri Mantra once more. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. O Supreme Being, cause of all manifestations in the universe, source of existence, intelligence and bliss, we meditate upon your adorable nature. May you illumine and inspire our intellect. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This has brought us to the end of the Havan purification ceremony. At this time, we will do a bhajan. पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। वेद की गावे ऋचाई, सत्य को धारण करे, हर्ष में हो मन सारे, शोक सागर से तरे। अश्वमेधा दे कृचाए, यज्ञ पर उपकार को, धर्म मर्यादा चलाकर लाभ दे संसार को। नित्य श्रद्धा भक्ति से यज नारी हम करते रहे, रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहे। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। भावना मिट जावे मन से पाप अत्याचार की, कामनाएं पूर्ण होवे यज्ञ से नर नारी की। लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीवधारी के लिए, वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए। स्वर्त भाव मिटे हमारा, प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो, इदन मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। छल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, मानसिक बल दीजिए, मानसिक बल दीजिए, मानसिक बल दीजिए। On the day of Shivratri, the young Mool Shankar fasted as advised by his father. Till midnight he found with great amazement that the temple priests and some of devotees, after having left the inner temple, had fallen asleep outside. Even his father Karsanji was the first to fall asleep, leaving the child alone. The child resisted his drowsiness by washing his eyes with cold water again and again. He saw mice running over the body of the idol, eating all the offerings, and polluting the image without slightest protest. All this disturbed his thoughtful mind about the supremacy of the great God of the scriptures that he had learnt about. He woke his father up and asked him questions which crowded his restless mind. The learned father could not satisfy his queries, and this was a great turning point in the life of Mool Shankar, now Maharshi Swami Dayanand Saraswati. This was a turning point in his life, and this bhajan tells about that incident. थी रात अंधेरे भाई, आकर आवाज लगाई। थी रात अंधेरे भाई, आकर आवाज लगाई। दरवाजा खोलो मेरी माई, वो शिव जी मिला नहीं, वो शिव जी मिला नहीं। माँ मेरी थी रात अंधेरे भाई। मैंने कल से भोजन त्यागा, और सारी रात भर जागा। मैंने कल से भोजन त्यागा, और सारी रात भर जागा। एक देख नजारा भागा, और शंकर हिला नहीं, और शंकर हिला नहीं। माँ मेरी थी रात अंधेरे भाई, आकर आवाज लगाई। दरवाजा खोलो मेरी माई, वो शिव जी मिला नहीं, वो शिव जी मिला नहीं। माँ मेरी एक चूहा निकल कर आया, जिसने तेरा पूत जगाया। मिला नहीं माँ मेरी, वो शिव जी मिला नहीं, वो शिव जी मिला नहीं माँ मेरी, वो शिव जी मिला नहीं, वो शिव जी मिला नहीं माँ मेरी।
Pandita Jasodhra Ragbir Singh has always been at the helm of religious work in the Sabha, and she has always made herself available to conduct religious ceremonies. We are indeed grateful to her for conducting Hawan this morning. This has really set the tone for this morning's proceedings. We have a small presentation as a token of our appreciation. This will be done by Darren Devkumar, who will make the following presentation. Our theme song, Arya Samaj Hamara Hai, will also be done by Srimati Nalini Suku. Miss Nalini is a teacher attached to the Dayanand Memorial Vedic School and is quite active in the cultural sphere.
आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। आर्य समाज हमारा है, प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। वेदों का प्रचार करें, शुद्ध आचार विचार करें, वेदों
We thank Miss Nalini for her beautiful rendition of that theme song this morning. Thank you, Miss. I am very proud indeed to introduce the next speaker. He can be described as one who has the ability and willpower to navigate circumstances, to articulate a pathway towards greater heights in the promotion of Vedic Dharma. Ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely delighted to present to you our dynamic president who sparks motivation in all of us in the pursuit of our vision for making the world noble. Let's welcome to the fore Shri Roshan Parasramsingh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My dearest devotees, pundits, panditas, executive members, members of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, the listening and viewing public, Namaste. Welcome to Rishi Bodh Utsav 2022, Enlightenment of Swami Dayananda. The theme today, leading the way in a pandemic through upliftment and regeneration. My message for you is the legacy of Swami Dayananda, and I think you will agree with me that it is Dayananda's legacy that we are celebrating today. Dayananda accepted the Veda as his rock of firm foundation. He took it for his guiding view of life, his rule of inner existence, and his inspiration for external work. He regarded it as if more the word of eternal truth on which man's knowledge of God and his relations with the divine being and his fellows can be rightly and securely founded. The Maharishi had a dream to bring the entire human race under one faith, the faith of brotherhood, the faith of love and harmony, the faith of noble ideals, Convento. He believed that all of us were children of God. He believed that we were like rose flowers of different colors, carrying the same enchanted fragrance as enshrined in the Veda. The 10 principles of Arya Samaj reflect his vision of mankind. In fact, he lived these principles. The first 3 principles resonate his conviction about the supremacy of the Vedas, and the other 7 expounded his vision towards peace and harmony. He was a great believer in elevating man and his society. He introduced Havan as a reminder that it was the moral duty of every human being to leave a legacy in the form of pure water, unpolluted air, and unpolluted society. Havan is an excellent source of eradicating man-made contaminants from the atmosphere, but only if performed on a daily basis. I think you will agree with me that ignorance as darkness can only be dispelled by lighting a light. We have inadvertently placed Swamiji torch in a safe corner and have conveniently forgotten about it. I urge you to move it to a place where it is needed the most. Move it to a place which is engulfed in darkness, and move it to a place where ignorance is breeding in the company of incorrect understanding. And the best such place, in my opinion, is our minds and the field of education. This year, we celebrate 70 years of excellence in education. And it would be remiss of me if I did not thank every principal, teacher, pupil, and parent for their astounding and sterling contribution in education in all our 9 Vedic schools. This milestone has been achieved through the foundation laid by Swami and the rich cultural heritage of the Vedic schools continue to dominate our education sector in all fields. The Rishi has left a legacy for us. We have to prove ourselves worthy of his trust in us, listening to his soul still crying to us. With our insufficient action, let's shake the slumber and redefine our allegiance in the light of his inspiration to what direction we are heading to. My vision of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad in the 21st century is to lead through upliftment and regeneration so that this organization sets the path for others to follow by engaging in missionaries and pastoral care. The 10 principles of Arya Samaj are as good today as they were in yesteryears, and they are going to remain good for the 21st century also. These principles, when conjoined, pose a statement that this organization is a spiritual organization and it should project itself as such. The COVID-19 pandemic has indeed brought its myriad of changes, but the APS was able to withstand the changing context of our world as it compelled us to engage in the missional opportunities of device provision and pastoral care for the unprivileged and vulnerable. As you delight yourself in relinquishing the contents of our soon-to-be-released Sandesh, I urge you to reflect upon the dedicated work of this organization. As we heralded strategic dynamism in our priorities at every level of our society, ensuring continual growth in our mandirs, council, preschools, and primary schools. The APS has embraced many fields which concern the welfare of humanity. We must refuse to accept stereotypes, and we must use this opportunity to stimulate urgent truth about long-term awareness patterns. We need to find some way of giving voice to the youth, our children. We must create a responsible organization, not failing in its vocation to serve the whole world. We need leaders in our society who will unite and not divide. We must bequeath a fragrant legacy to our children that they feel proud of. In keeping with this year's theme, it is my fervent wish that the APS in the 21st century will be run by people who are noble to the letter and who live the 10 principles of the Arya Samaj. And it is an accessible organization which inculcates good faith, tolerance, and respect for opinions which we do not share. The APS in the 21st century is an organization which believes that it is an ethical way where we have to treat other people as friends or potential friends. My vision of the Arya Samaj in Trinidad is that it gains a position of intellectual might in that it takes over the true representation of Vedic religion in the 21st century. The pandemic has taught us to be resilient and to become our brothers' keepers. That is why I can stand here today and boast of an organization that is leading the way in a pandemic through upliftment and regeneration. In the context of Mahashivatri and Rishi Bodh, we must be reminded to check our practices and be more mindful, thus be empowered to awaken our third eye, attain Bodh, and be truly spiritual in our day-to-day life. Give yourself the space and time to grieve, to celebrate, and to feel every emotion in between during this challenging time. The Vedic religion that suggests methods for the attainment of the highest ideal and eternal bliss here and now on earth and not somewhere in heaven. The practice of Dharma gives an experience of peace, joy, strength, and tranquility within oneself and make life disciplined. As I concluded, I hope this message awakens your inner consciousness to discover the purpose of your being. Feel the presence of the Supreme Power within and around you. I pray this enlightenment destroy all your sorrows and eliminate all the troubles to help you lead a happy and healthy life. Let us come together to celebrate the Swami and seek His blessings for a happy life. As we celebrate through education and upliftment of others through astute leadership. It is my fervent wish that God will continue to bless all of you and your families with good health, peace, prosperity, and happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, members, principals, teachers, students, friends and family of this great organization, I bid you a pleasant namaste as we lead the way in a pandemic through upliftment and regeneration. Thank you and namaste.
Mr. President, your message has always served as an inspiration to us all. I'm quite sure we will heed your words of advice and inspiration. In keeping with the momentum set by our President, we have in our midst a caliber of a gentleman who has traversed the corporate world and carries with him a wealth of experience and knowledge. He is the Senior Vice President and Secretary of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad, School Board of Management. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound pleasure to welcome Shri Ravi Rambaran, who will deliver our Fitya address.
Namaste. It is my extreme pleasure and privilege to present the message, Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati, my life, my message, on this occasion of Rishi Bodh Utsav 2022. Let me state at the outset, these are purely my views and interpretations, and any errors and omissions are solely my own. The agenda today will cover Swamiji's view of enlightenment. Where are we today as a society? Where do we wish to be tomorrow as a society? What is our measure of success? Why is the Arya Samaj an appropriate vehicle to build an enlightened citizens and an enlightened society? And how do we get there? And finally, a summary. Swamiji's view of enlightenment. An enlightened person is one that is knowledgeable, liberal, reasonable, educated, refined, open-minded. And so an unenlightened person has those opposite qualities: ignorant, petty, unreasonable, uneducated, coarse, closed-minded. According to the Rig Veda, an ignorant person is one who has eyes but sees nothing, has ears but hears nothing, has a tongue but speaks nothing. Again, within our tradition and reinforced by Swamiji, knowledge is both sacred and secular, and our Vedas create such a system for sacred and secular knowledge, how to live, the purpose of life. But it goes beyond the four Vedas: the Ayurveda, medical sciences; the Dhanurveda, social and military sciences; Gandharveda, music and dance and drama; the Arthaveda, dealing with natural science and engineering; Jyotish Shastra, math, geology, and astronomy. So enlightenment, according to Swamiji, requires sacred knowledge, secular knowledge, and also action. So where are we today as a society? We are a society, we have free education, we have subsidies for housing, for food, and one of the highest old age pensions in the Caribbean. We are the second richest country per capita or per person in the Caribbean. However, we are beset by social problems. We are ranked 6th in the world in terms of crime, 72 incidents per 100,000 persons, compared to our neighbors in Jamaica, 67 incidents per 100,000. Our families and friends who live in the US, 48 per 100,000 persons. In Canada also, 42 per 100,000 persons. And we take another culture, the United Arab Emirates, 15 per 100,000. When we look at corruption, we are ranked poorly at 82nd out of 180 countries. When we consider violence against women, 3 out of every 10 women have experienced some form of violence. When you consider our children, child abuse, 33.5% have experienced neglect, 23.3% have experienced sexual abuse, 15.5% have experienced physical abuse, 11% emotional abuse. These are appalling statistics. Again, the rule of law, we are ranked 63rd out of 139 countries. And when we look at the population, 4 out of 10 persons are Indians and 2 out of 10 are Hindus. So we are both part of the problem and part of the solution. What this context tells us, we require social reform. So where do we wish to be tomorrow? According to Swamiji, we should aspire, our objective should be to have a society of enlightened people. But how do we recognize when we meet our objective of having a society of enlightened people? Well, to do so, we require measures of success that are either measurable or observable. A person who has a thoughtful nature is deemed to be a person of knowledge. A person who feels for others in the same way as he does for himself or his family members is a person invested in fairness. A person who does not fear the unjust is also a person invested in courage. A person who opposes wicked leaders. That provides the basis to be a national leader. These are all from the Satyar Prakash Swamiji's own words. So therefore, an enlightened person is knowledgeable, is fair, is courageous, and concerned about leadership. So why then is the Arya Samaj an appropriate vehicle to build enlightened citizens? First of all, let me state categorically, Swamiji did not establish a religion. We are part and parcel of Vedic Sanatan Dharma. But he established a reform movement to revitalize reinvigorate our society. Swamiji's life had three main dimensions: social justice, political, and religious, even though at times we tend to focus on the religious side. Swamiji tackled the problems of his time head on: illiteracy, dowry, weak women's rights. These were the social ills of his time. Casteism, conversion, superstition, Brahmanism, the power structure of the priestly caste. These were the religious problems of his time. Lack of pride in identity, weak Swaraj or self-rule through the form of weak democracy. These were the political problems of his time. When we look at our problems of today, violence against women and children, these are the social problems of today. Conversion, religious problems of today. Remember I said we were 4 out of 10 Indians, but now 2 out of those 10 are Hindus. Crime, corruption, lack of pride in our identity and mimicking the identity of others, weak self-rule through the form of democracy. Again, these are political issues of today. So as we can see, there are many similar and some new social problems between Swamiji's time and our time. But fortunately for us, he has showed us what to do. So how do we get there? We as members of the Arya Samaj first have to reform ourselves. We have to stop treating the Samaj as an agency for lifelong employment for families and friends. And despite volunteering for positions, once elected, we have to act with the same level of professionalism and duty and care as we would in a paid position. We do not have the right or the luxury to not help in any committee or any activity of the Samaj. We must view a labor or monetary contribution to the Samaj as our duty, as a dan. Internal reform is necessary. We as members of the Arya Samaj also, we must not view our subscriptions as a right to personally benefit apart from the right to vote, because Swamiji was a firm believer in democracy, unlike many other Indian-based organizations and other religious-based organizations, other dharmic organizations. We have to be vigilant and resist vigorously those among us that act in an unenlightened manner. How do we spot those? Ignorant, petty, unreasonable, uneducated, coarse, close-minded. I say to you, it is better to be smaller in numbers and more aligned in our objectives of building an enlightened society than to have a larger membership and engage in unenlightened behavior and divisiveness. Swamiji showed us this example by walking away from his family, friends, and society, despite being part of a very rich, privileged Brahmin family by birth. Internal reform is necessary. How do we continue to get there? We have to adjust our actions to time, kal, to the place, desh, this is our home, and circumstances, paristhiti. We have to be fair, increase the national visibility of the Samaj by our increased sewa and charitable activities. We have increased media coverage of our academic activities. We have increased our engagement with policymakers in education and coverage of our policy positions in education. But we need to increase our sewa or charitable activities because COVID has created greater inequality in our society, something that Swamiji fought for all his life. and so must continuously show concern for others in the same way that Swamiji showed concern for the life of the cook who poisoned him to death. Therefore, I say to you, national and focused activism are necessary. Continuing on this theme of adjusting our actions to Kal, Desh and Parishthiti, we need to communicate our positions on the national burning social issues of the day. Crime, corruption and violence against women and children in the same way that Swamiji fought vigorously for the rights of women and against oppression by the British and corrupt Indians, our own people. He introduced Shuddhi to reconvert the converted. We need to show a path back home. We need to bring in foreign but educated pracharaks on 6-month contracts, invigorate and assist our aging and dwindling pundits. Again, national and focused activism are necessary, not just thinking and speaking. How do we get there? Resources are required to effect sustainable and meaningful change. We need to rationalize our existing assets. We need to create an endowment fund to be run jointly by alumni and executive to reduce our extreme reliance on government. We need to build self-reliance. So in summary, if we consider ourselves true Samajis, then there are many examples in Swamiji's life of courage, of sacrifice, of perseverance, and focus on others rather than oneself that we can draw upon to effect sustainable change socially, religiously, and politically. The choice is ours to be enlightened. The choice is also ours to be unenlightened. The choice is ours to enlighten others. By example, as Swamiji showed, his life was an example of first seeking enlightenment and enlightening others. Namaste.
You know, in the past, we were accustomed to many distinguished individuals speaking at length on our founder. We are happy to see Mr. Rambaran, who chose to deliver his message through the use of electronic media to create the visual impact. A well-delivered feature address. Thank you, sir. Our next item will be done by Ms. Nirmala Sesnarain. She is an English teacher by profession and the holder of a first-class honors degree in education from the University of Trinidad and Tobago and a master's in public sector management with distinction from the University of the West Indies. She has studied Indian classical music for many years under the tutelage of Sri Mangal Patesa and has also been coached by Chris Ramkilawan of Suriname and Sri Sudhir Narain of Agra in India. Nirmala is also a radio personality on 103.1 FM. She is accompanied by the band Nitya. Adesh Sahadev on the keyboard. Also, he is the band's musical director. Also, Kailash Dukran on tabla, Yovi Brijlal on the guitar, and Donny Gayadin on percussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very honored to have a wide array of such distinguished musicians all under one roof. Let's welcome on stage Ms. Nirmala Sesnarain and her band Nitya, who will serenade us this morning in song.
तेरे पूजन को उठे जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है। उठे जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है। जो सोवत है सो खोवत है, जो जागत है सोई पावत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है। उठ नींद से अखियाँ खोल जरा, और अपने प्रभु में ध्यान लगा। उठ नींद से अखियाँ खोल जरा, और अपने प्रभु में ध्यान लगा। यह प्रीत करम की रीत नहीं, हरि जागत है तू सोवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है। जो कल करना सो आज तू कर, जो आज करे सो अब कर ले। जो कल करना सो आज तू कर, जो आज करे सो अब कर ले। जब चिड़िया ने छुप खेत लिया, फिर पछताते क्या होवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है। जो सोवत है सो खोवत है, जो जागत है सोई पावत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है। हे जगत पिता भगवान, हमें दो ज्ञान। तू ईश्वर प्यारा, दुनिया में एक सहारा। हे जगत पिता भगवान, हमें दो ज्ञान। तू ईश्वर प्यारा, दुनिया
Ms. Narain and your musicians, you have really whetted our appetites for more of your beautiful renditions of those bhajans. We were really given a rare treat this morning. Our most gracious thanks to you and your band.
Namaste. I am Kumari Vidya Ramachala, Secretary of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the next item on today's program, which is the launching of the online Arya Sandesh magazine, a project of the executive of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad. This presentation will be done by Sri Rajesh Jagmohan, teacher of the Avocat Vedic School and executive member of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Sri Rajesh Jagmohan to launch the online Arya Sandesh magazine.
Thank you, Ms. Ramachala, for your kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, children, it is my profound pleasure to give a brief overview of the Arya Sandesh 2022, which spans a period of 3 years. We were quite proactive in having our yajnas, hawans, and other functions at our schools, our refurbished mandir, and even at the homes of Arya Samajas. To this end, we are indeed grateful. Our youths were not neglected. A youth conference was held in Chaguanas, where the mayor brought greetings. Also, several camps were held at Rio Claro Vedic School, whereby it was widely participated by the community at large. Our association took the bold step to hold a massive fundraising at the Diwali Nagar, which was quite successful, and funds realized will go a long way in furthering the objectives of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha. One of our hallmarks of achievement for the ensuing term was the restoration of the Carolina Vedic Mandir. A lot of improvement works were done which restored that mandir to its former glory. The president, Sri Roshan Parasram Singh, spearheaded this venture and showed a keen interest in its completion. Whenever our schools celebrate their anniversaries and other milestones, they are most anxious to share their achievements with us. Also, when their students stand out in academic as well as non-academic pursuits, we revel in their glorious achievements. Since 2020, our association has partnered with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Agriculture to negotiate lands for the relocation of Montrose Vedic School. To this end, we were quite successful in acquiring a piece of land in Chaguanas, and which construction will begin soon. Under the auspices of the Ministry of Social Development, we were able to access funding to purchase, prepare, and distribute hampers to much needed individuals hard hit by the pandemic. Our work did not stop there. We partnered with members of parliament to deliver wheelchairs, building materials, and other items to persons afflicted in one way or the other. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a sampling of our activities, accolades, and achievements. Please send your comments. We would like to hear from you, for we can grow from strength to strength together. Namaste.
Thank you, Sri Rajesh Jagmohan, for the dynamic presentation of the launching of the online Arya Sandesh magazine.
Our next item will showcase a talented young lady, Amy Puran, who currently attends the Rio Claro West Secondary School and is in Form 5. She is a past student of the Rio Claro APS Vedic School and is a member of the Rio Claro Vedic alumni. Amy has been dancing with Simone Dance Academy for the past 3 years. Amy will be dancing to the song entitled Tal Sita Mila, taken from the movie Tal. Young Amy, we know you have been constrained by not meeting as regularly to practice your art form, but you have really done justice to this dance item this morning, and we wish you all success in your future endeavors. This function would not have been possible through the kind efforts of many individuals. To take us through this item, I now invite Kumari Devki Ramrup, who will move the vote of thanks.
Namaste, everyone. It is a great honor and privilege for me to deliver the vote of thanks and to acknowledge the contributions made by all those who have worked tirelessly to make this celebration a successful one. I would like to begin by expressing our heartfelt gratitude to our Almighty God for making this day possible. To our officiating Pandita, Jasodra Ragbir Singh, a special thank you for conducting today's Hawan ceremony to commence the celebration of Rishi Bodh Utsav 2022. To the members who have assisted in the Hawan ceremony, Kumari Vidya Ramachala, Kumari Nirmala Maharaj, and Sri Dharan Devkumar, a special thank you. Much appreciation goes out to the 2022 Utsav Committee, coordinated by our dedicated Kumari Vidya Ramachala and assisted by all the hard-working committee members. A special thank you for your continued support to this noble organization. To our President Sri Roshan Parasram Singh, thank you for that inspiring message and motivational words. All our achievement and success would not have been possible without you at the helm of this organization. Thank you very much, Sri Roshan Parasram Singh. Feature presentation done by Sri Ravi Rambaran. A heartfelt thank you for your very informative and inspiring message on the tribute to Swami Dayanand Saraswati, My Life, My Message. A special thank you to Sri Rajesh Jagmohan for the launching of the online Arya Sandesh. A special thank you to both Srimati Nalini Suku and Sri Lalchan Suku for rendering the bhajan Om Ka Janda and the hoisting of the Om flag. Also, a special thank you for the singing of the theme song Arya Samaj Hamara Hai. A special thank you to Kumari Nirmala Sesnarayan for the lovely Bhajan Sangam. Thank you goes out to Amy Puran for that marvelous dance item. Thank you to Kumari Indita Ramsundar Singh and Pandita Jasodra Ragbir Singh for closing off today's program with the Arti Bhajan and Shanti Pat. For the refreshments, much appreciation goes out to Kumari Vidya Ramachala and Kumari Nirmala Maharaj. Last but not least, a few words about our chairperson, Sri Rajesh Jagmohan. Sincere thank you for a job well done. You have taken us through today's proceedings very smoothly, and we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to you. To everyone who worked behind the scene to execute this program, our technical arrangement team, the stage setting, musicians, much thanks to everyone. In closing, I would like to extend much appreciation to all members for their enormous cooperation in the organizing of this event. And if I have forgotten to mention anyone who have contributed towards making today's function a successful one, I say thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Kumari Devki Ramrup, for that necessary and very important task this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, children, as we bring Rishi Bodh Utsav to a close, we must acknowledge our membership, our listening and viewing audience for inviting us into your homes. You are as much a part of our success that we enjoy today. It is our fervent desire that you partner with us in your efforts, donations, and goodwill to grow our association to better serve you. May 2022 bring light and prosperity to you and your loved ones. Goodbye and namaste.
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनन के संकट भक्त जनन के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ॐ जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनन के संकट भक्त जनन के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता तुम मेरी शरण कहो किसकी स्वामी शरण कहो किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा तुम बिन और न दूजा आश करो जिसकी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूरन परमात्मा तुम्हारी दरयामी स्वामी तुम्हारी दरयामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनन के संकट भक्त जनन के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ॐ जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता दीन दयालु कृपालु दीन दयालु कृपालु कृपा करो बरता ॐ जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा स्वामी पाप हरो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति बराओ श्रद्धा भक्ति बराओ संतन की सेवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे
Let us all join in Shanti Path. Om Dyau Shanti Rantariksham Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapa Shanti Roshadhaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti Vishvedeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shanti Deva Shanti Sama Shanti Reti. May there be peace in the heavenly regions. May there be peace in the atmosphere. May peace reign on earth. May the waters be soothing. And may the medicinal herbs be healing. May the plants be the source of peace to all. May all enlightened persons bring peace to us. May the Vedas spread peace to all. May all other objects give us peace. And may peace even bring peace. And may that peace come to us forever. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.